You've sat in this perf calibration before. The L4 ships features, the L7 sets direction, and the L5 in the middle, the one who used to be the productivity engine. Suddenly nobody can articulate what they did this half. Their tickets closed, their PRs merged. But when the EM tries to write the impact statement, it comes out as a list of verbs with no object. That's not a perf problem, that's a market signal. The middle of the engineering ladder is hollowing out, and by 2026, the highest leverage skill on the IC track isn't writing code, it's writing the spec that decides what code gets written. Let me show you the shape of it. 3 forces are compressing the middle. 1. Copilot, Cursor, and Claude code aren't replacing engineers, but they are replacing the marginal hour of a mid-level engineer translating a clear ticket into working code. That was 60% of the L4, L5 job. 2. Scale-ups overhired in 2021, and the orgs that survived flattened. Stripe, Shopify, Meta, all visibly fewer ICs between the staff layer and the new grads. 3. The work that's left at the middle is the ambiguous work. The work where the hard part isn't the implementation. It's deciding what to build, for whom, with what trade-offs, which means the skill that compounds is spec-writing. And I don't mean PRDs. I mean the Stripe-style RFC, the Amazon 6-pager, the design doc that walks a reviewer from "here's the problem" to "here's why these 3 alternatives lose," without them having to ask a single clarifying question. Here's the thing both tracks miss. If you're on the Staff plus IC path, you already knew this. Your job is leverage, and a good RFC is the highest leverage artifact in an engineering org. One doc aligns 12 people for a quarter. But if you're on the EM path, you're probably underinvesting here because you stopped writing them when you stopped coding. That's a mistake. The EMs who get promoted to senior EM and director in 2026 are the ones whose teams ship coherent strategy, and coherent strategy lives in documents, not stand-ups. So what actually distinguishes a spec that moves a promotion packet from one that gets ignored? 3 things. First, the non-goals section. Naming what you're explicitly not solving is the single clearest signal of senior thinking. It shows you understand scope and blast radius. Second, alternatives. Considered with real teeth. Not, we could also do X, but it's bad. Actual rollout, cost, P99 impact, migration risk for each. Third, a rollout plan with a rollback trigger. If your doc doesn't say, we revert if metric Y crosses threshold Z, you're writing a wish, not a spec. The uncomfortable read is this. If your last 6 months of work could be summarized as shipped the things my tech lead spec'd, the model that replaces that workflow is already in production. The work that's safe and the work that pays is being the person who writes the doc the model and the team both build from. Next video, I'll break down the Amazon 6-pager structure specifically, why the narrative format forces better thinking than bullet points, and how to adapt it if your org doesn't have a writing culture. If you've got an RFC template your team actually uses, drop the structure in the comments. Curious which sections survived contact with reality.